Hey, what's going on, everybody? Chris here, and I just finished watching Fallout on Amazon Prime. Just want to give you my review of it. It's only 8 episodes. Most of them are about an hour. Some are a little bit shorter than that, 45 minutes or so. I'm a huge fan of the games. I beat Fallout 3, Fallout 4. I played some of Fallout 76 when it first came out, but didn't really love it. I need to get back to that because I've heard they've added a lot of story elements, and it's supposed to be a lot better now than it was at launch. But how was the show, right? I mean, it's been super well received, and I completely concur with most of what I've seen in reviews. I think it does a great job of kind of retaining the dark sort of 50s era, but also not 50s kind of steampunk, cyberpunk stuff that is in the game. And it really tries not to stray too much from that. I'm sure when they were crafting this show and writing the scripts, they knew that they would get a ton of blowback if they didn't have a Pip Boy, if they didn't have sort of the same, kind of Fallout Boy, not the band, but the Vault Boy, I should say, emblems and sort of animations and things, and they do a really good job. Like in a lot of ways, I could actually see this show being transformed into a game in and of itself, which is a little bit meta and kind of weird, but it felt like Fallout through and through. I thought all the actors were great in it. I thought overall it was very well written. I mean, there were some moments where it got I wouldn't say hard to follow, but a little bit vague and maybe could have used, I don't know, just a little more time in the oven from kind of a storytelling and writing perspective. But it kind of brings you along nicely through the whole experience. And I just really loved it. Would I say it's the best video game adaptation to date? Maybe. I don't know. I did love The Last of Us. I thought that was amazing. I don't know if I would say this is better than this because it's so different. I would say it's as good in that it's faithful to the source material, but also it's transformed in a way that makes it watchable for TV purposes, right? So special effects are great, and I will say, there are bursts of like uber violence in this, just like there are in the game, right? And you would kind of expect that. But there are even more kind of well developed themes and things in the show that aren't in the game. And even though I do love the games and I love sort of the moral stuff that comes along with the games, right? And if you've ever played them before, you know that you can make choices, and you've seen the memes, probably everyone disliked that or everyone liked that. And your karma is kind of impacted by that and how people perceive you. That element of the game is not really in the show. I mean, characters have to make moral decisions and all that, of course, like they would in any other drama. But I think it would have been interesting if they could have found a way to incorporate that decision tree aspect of what makes the games so definitive into the show itself. But as it stands, the show does work well. Overall, I think the direction they're taking this with a potential second season, which I think has already been greenlit, I would imagine. I think I read something about that because, again, this has been really well received, I think, just sort of overall. But I think the direction they're taking things is really good. And just the sound design, the set design, everything about it screams Fallout. Like if I had to imagine, playing the games, what it would look like on a big screen or a small screen, this is exactly that for the most part. There is one aspect of it that I was kind of hoping I would see in the show that I don't know that you could really do it in a manageable way. I think they could have done it. So this is minor spoilers, and I'm trying to keep this relatively spoiler free, but you don't really have bats in the show at all. I guess there could have been a thing where, because there are doctors who can make elixirs and all kinds of stuff in the show that do basically kind of magical things. Not exactly. I mean, genetically, pseudoscientifically, that's how you're supposed to assume they work. But if there had been some kind of targeting system that was part of some sort of chip that was embedded in somebody's brainstem or something to make bats a thing, that could have been kind of cool. That's the only thing from the game that I sort of wish would have been in here that wasn't in here. But everything else about the game, especially in terms, again, of the humor piece of it, is mostly here. It doesn't fully encapsulate, sort of the dry humor of the games, but it does a pretty good job. I would say it gets about 85 to 90% of the way there. So overall, yeah, I mean, if you love Fallout the game, if you like really dark stuff, and if you like just solid science fiction, kind of alternate reality science fiction, this is that, right? I mean, it's a commentary on, war. It's a commentary on the threats of nuclear war, all of that kind of stuff. Humanity's scramble for finding energy. There's a lot of sort of larger kind of environmental themes sort of woven into this, but just on a storytelling perspective, I think it works super well. So anyway, I really enjoyed Fallout. If you've seen it, let me know what you think in the comments down below. And as always, thanks so much for watching.